three. One, take, two, take, one, take, two, take, one, take, two, take, three. One, take, one, take, two, three. One, take, three. One, two, three, take, one, take, one, three, take, one. If we were doing number 4, 4/8 time, you would write capital R under the rest, 2, 3, pulse, and then the 5/8 would be pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not going to say the syllable now because we haven't been doing that for the 5s, but if you had something like this on a file, you would look at the key signature, or excuse me, time signature, 4/8. 8th note gets the beat. 4 8 notes in a measure. That should tell you enough to do it. You have to look at each measure separately. Any questions about how you would do that if you had to write it out? And then capital R for rest. Okay, let's count it, or clap it I should say, but we don't have to say anything else. So it's going to be tough to get this one started because of the rest. But it would, listen to how it would start. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 4 at the end. And they would give you that syncopation with the rest at the beginning of the next one. Number 5 looks like rocket science, but it's not. The 8th note gets a beat.
Take
1. Yeah. You'd have rest, take, 2, rest.
1. Take 2.
Syncopation in 3/8. 1, 2, take.
Rest.
The 2/8, 1, take. The 3/8, 1, take, 2, take.
The second measure is 1, take, 2.
1, 2, take.
1, 2,
take. Because the 8th note gets the beat. So 8th note, 1, and then 2, take. That's a syncopation. Pulse, take. Actually, this would be better written because you'd have to stop.
Take.
That's a lot of syncopation.
Take.
Oh, and then he beams us.
Third measure, the 2/8, 1, take. 4th measure, 3/8, 1, take, 2, take. Next measure, 4/8, rest, take. Rest, take, 4, 3/8, 1, take. 1, take. I don't know if we can do this one. It's got both syncopation and all these 16th rests, but let's try. So here's an 8th note. 1,
The rest of the day rest.
Pulse, rest. Oh, sorry, 4/8. Ready? And
Where are we starting?
rest. The 4/8.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5th measure. 2. Ready? And rest.
Wow.
Now, number 6 on the next page.
Nice.
What does it mean, 8th equal 8th? I did talk about this once before, but I didn't really
It's
stress
where
it.
you're keeping the 8th note beat throughout the entire piece.
Right. Not the 8th note beat, but the 8th note. The 8th note in a simple time is equal to an 8th note in a compound time. So that is when it appears that the length of the beat is changing. So if this is the 8th note, 1 and 2 and 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 1 take, 2 take, 1 lolly, 2 lolly. So it appears the beat slows down in the compound time, but the 8th note stays steady. So in this case, when you're performing it, feel the 8th note pulse. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. what I'm doing? The bum, 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 those are the eighth notes. Slow it down a little and try this. So bum, 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 those are eighth notes. So in the first measure, that'd be one, take, two, take. In the second measure, it'd be one, la, li, two, take. So bum, 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 1, 2, and bum, 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 So,
That one was
we're in the rocket science chapter.
Now, would that be common to have the 8 equals 8 with so many time signature changes?
In 20th century, maybe. In the 20th century modern stuff, you might see something like this. Now, performing, that's kind of difficult, but written, what's the written? Yes. First measure,
1, 2, take.
yeah. Okay, second measure,
1,
One lolly.
Yep.
2, lead,
two to lead.
to lead.
So you see, it's not very difficult
Right.
writing it.
Take
Writing
two.
it, the 8 equal 8 doesn't really mean anything. That's actually a
One,
performance thing.
two.
But the counting
Okay,
is pretty much the same. Just take each measure on its own
lolly,
and do it as a simple or a compound.
lolly.
1, 2,
So if you look, for example, down at number 9, in the first measure, the 6/8, 1 la to li, 2 la to li. The second measure is just 1 te, 2 te. Third measure, 1 la to li. Let's back up and use the 8th note. 1, 2 te, 3, 4, 5 te, 6. In the second measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or no, 1 te, 2 te. At the 5/8, 1, 2 te, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, take 2, 3,
1, 2, 3,
4.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Try to perform this one. I don't think this is too tough to perform. Try this one. So it starts. 1, 2, 3. No, yeah, that was not very difficult to perform. Any questions on that? Page 294. 294. Syncopation, including irregular and mixed meters. Yeah, this one's going to be tough because they're mixing the meters and they're throwing a lot of syncopation. Actually, they were doing that on that one before, the one with all the extra notes in it. Actually, there's nothing new here as far as how to count it. It's mainly just trying to figure out the syncopation. So if you look at number 1, well, we already know what we need to know to count that. The trouble is practicing enough to be able to do the syncopation. So we know the first measure is 1, 8, 4 lolly. We know the second measure is 1, 8, 2, 8, 4 lolly. It's just